Hey there y'all, Disney D Prince here today with one of my first sort of tutorial videos. So I am going to be dyeing some rainbow high clothes because I bought like 4 different Avery Styles sets. So I have a ton of her wigs and clothes. And so I am going to try to dye them. So I've seen a couple of tutorials about hair dyeing, but really only like 1 or 2 about clothes dyeing. And so I wanted to just kind of give it a good once over to try and see what I can do. So I have 3 different containers here, plus a container for cool water for rinses. And then I have the Rit dye, not the dye more, because the last tutorial that I did watch said that the dye more was more likely to bleed into your doll. So I've got it in black, aquamarine, and scarlet. And the pieces that I'm going to be dyeing are the Anti-Sparkle Club ring neck tee, this little purple skirt that's got sort of a satiny texture to it, the pleather mini dress, the pink sequiny dress, and the skirt with the suspenders cut off. So I do have 3 sets of each of those. So I'm going to use them and we're going to see how they look in these different colors. So the first thing that we have to do is I have to add the water. Now I did just use my kettle instead of doing this on the stovetop because I have an electric kettle and it's just faster. And so I'm going to add some water. Notice that steam. This is going to be hotter than you can get in your sink most likely. So that's why I decided I was going to use that. And I'm just going to divide these equally. These are almost identical sizes of bowls. And then I'm going to put in, because the directions say to put in some dishwashing detergent. So just a little bit, because we don't need a full tablespoon, I don't think, because we're not doing this in a big volume like it said for 3 gallons. So we're doing a little bit of that. And then a splash of some vinegar to help the dye fix to the cloth. So just a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. And then we're going to take our dye. Let's do the black first, and we shake well per the instructions. We take the cap off, and then we need to get this little seal off. What we're gonna do, and then we're gonna do a little bit like that. I think should be enough for there, because you use half a bottle for a full like 3 gallons. And then we're gonna do the blue on the back. And remember, you want to wear gloves while you're doing this so you don't stain your fingers. I'm just wearing some gloves from the like 99-cent store. I'm gonna do the aquamarine back here a little bit. And because these are extra pieces that I don't really care about, that's why I'm doing this with these colors. I am going to do some wigs in the matching colors also, as soon as I figure out how well this works. Shake well for scarlet. And we're going to do that. And then I am going to get a little wooden spoon to stir with that I forgot to get out ahead of time, but that's okay. But see, I've already used this spoon for a bunch of other art projects. So we're gonna go light to dark, just to kind of swirl that up to make sure it's mixed with the vinegar and everything. And just rinse to be sure. And same thing with our scarlet. And rinse. See, it's already staining that wood. And black as well. And then we are going to put the clothes in there. I don't want to stain them with black that I have on my gloves, so I'm going to use my other hand. So we've got our sparkle tea that's going in first to each of these. And we're going to let those sink. And then the skirt. Again the skirt. And again the skirt. And then the other cotton skirt. Cotton skirt. Cotton skirt. And I think that's going to be all we're going to fit in there right this minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave these here for a bit. We're going to stir them in to make sure they're getting coated. And I kind of want to see how dark they will get and see if it's going to do anything. Because it's looking like this blue aquamarine is going to need a little more dye, because I'm not seeing an immediate shift in the color. So I'm going to add some more dye back there just to see if that kind of kicks that up a notch or not. Now they did say that on the pleather stuff it can be more of a pastel that it actually comes out as, and less of a less of the actual color. So I don't know if the blue is going to do anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these in here for like 3 minutes, I think. But, because see how dark that spoon is already getting from that scarlet? So that scarlet's gonna have a lot more color pigmentation in it looks like. But I'm hoping that the black will do some good, because there's not very many black fashions when it comes in. So let's see what our red looks like so far, our scarlet. So that's what our scarlet looks like so far. So it's actually looking pretty good. I'm going to leave that in there a little bit longer, I think. Let's see what our aquamarine is looking like. So not a huge shift. It is sort of green tinted right now on that. And then not much is really going on this one, unfortunately. And then let's see where our shirt went. So our shirt so far is the best of the blue. And it's turned that orange a sort of brown. So that works. And then we have our black over here, which is more of a gray right now. It's still kind of cute. And then this has gotten a little bit darker, but not much. And let's see if we can find that shirt real quick. Right here. See that anti-sparkle club right there, that looks good. And see, it's dyed that that orange ring back to the black. So we are going to leave those in just a little while longer, just to make sure that our color is really setting. And so we're about at the 3-minute mark for how long they've been in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse the red stuff out and see what we've got. See how much of it's sticking. See if we can let it dry just like that. I'm getting a cloth set up ready to hold some of our wet stuff. So let's take this red out. So that's what that red looks like. It is more of like a burnt orange, but it's still very pretty, still very cute. You can see a little bit of that ribbon detailing. Again, those little gold clasps don't do much as far as dyeing. And then we're gonna rinse that a little bit. And you see it is coming off that ribbon a little bit, to where that ribbon's looking more like a pale pink. See, we have that. So it's very cute, and I'm gonna set that off to the side on a clean towel. So we have this one, which has gotten a little bit more red. I was hoping for a little bit better on this violet skirt, but we're gonna just let that go. The Anti-Sparkle Club shirt is already to that same color, and it's taken that orange out. So we're gonna rinse it. Over there. And again, this is our cool water, which I may have to replace because it's not showing you guys the difference. But that is what that came out looking like. So that's very cute. So already you can see that this is more of an orange compared to this true red. So different colors are going to dye differently. I'm going to leave that in there in the scarlet. I'm going to take the black skirt, which is still looking too gray for me, but I'm going to take this t-shirt out. Like that, see, and you're gonna see some of that dye come off in that water. Make that water more black. And it does almost look purple, which is kind of cute. And so we're gonna let the others soak there for a minute. But I've got to grab a paper towel before it stains my floor and my countertop, because it dripped a little bit when I was showing the camera. But let's see, and we're going to take that blue shirt out now. I'm going to try to rinse it. See, it's almost it's a very light blue, like that aquamarine said it was supposed to be. I actually don't want to rinse it in this water. So give me just a minute. I'm gonna empty this water out and get us a new bath of cool water. Okay, new batch of cool water right there. nice and clear. Again, we're gonna just rinse this off, or wring it out a little bit, and we're gonna dip it in our cool water. You see a little bit of that dye is coming out. And this is about where we're at. It's a very light blue with a brown ring neck now. And that is how that looks in those three colors. So instead of having plain white t-shirts that we just don't need that many of, we now have three different ones that just say the same thing. So I'm going to take this black skirt out, I think, and we're just going to make this a gray one. So wring out as much of that dye as I can over the bowl. That's what it's looking like now. So it's more of like a brownish gray. We're going to run it through the nice clear water. And wring it out. And that's about where it is right there. And you see that dye comes off a little bit more off of the ribbons, which is nice. And this is looking more like a brown skirt, which is still cute because that'll pair well with our blue ring neck. And so let's see how our skirt is doing in the blue. So it's gotten more green. Again, this is a really light color blue, so it's a very hard one to cover bright colors just because of how bright the dye is supposed to be. But it is still very cute once we get that done. So let's see. Bring that out just a little so we can see what it looks like. So that is how that looks like. Again, you see a little bit of light blue on the ribbon. The skirt is more of a green. And we're going to set that off to dry because I think I like the way that looks now. But again, they're very cute. We're leaving those satiny skirts in there for just a little bit longer, I think, because that's what that one looks like. They're still all very, very much still the lilac skirts, except for the red. The red is coming through a little bit more, which is nice. And then this blue is not really doing anything to this. So it's a little upsetting that that blue's not going to work, but hey, we can always dye it a different color. And so that's where we're at with those. So I think we're going to take those off and move them to a different drying area. I always buy cheap dish towels because that's a good way to ruin expensive dish towels, is by just kind of grabbing them offhandedly. So I'm going to move these guys that I had situated over off to this side, over here, so they can dry properly and fully. And so after these, so those are out of the way, we're going to take these other skirts. These are like the, they're nylon, I'm pretty sure. These are nylon. So this has gotten a little bit darker. I'll show you guys a completed shot after they have dried. Almost forgot to rinse this one. So we'll see, maybe I just need to have a different sort of dye for that material, or just more vibrant colors. Again, here is our red. It did come across a little bit better. Let's see how much of that stays on after we rinse it, though. And again, all of these are from the Avery Styles doll collection, or doll closet. Just because I already had extras of these. And so that's where we're at with those. Again, not much difference here in the aquamarine. But the next one we're going to do is the pink sequin dress. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it in there, drop it in the red, and drop it in the blue. And we'll see. Now, a good sign is that it looks like the blue is already taking it pretty well. So we're going to leave those in there for a bit. And we're also going to try these silver vinyl dresses. This is the one that she's wearing in the box. So into the black, into the red, and into the blue. And we're going to give those a little push, keep them down. And we're going to give those a minute to dry. But so far, this process has gone very smoothly. The only problem I've had is I didn't get paper towels out ahead of time. So grab your paper towels before you start this project so you can dab your hands and dab your countertop or your floors wherever things are dripping. Because if left unattended too long, this stuff will stain countertops most likely, even though it's not to dye more. But we'll see. And so we're going to give those a minute. Now, I doubt, because it didn't really do much to the vinyl, I doubt it's going to do much to the pleather, but we will see. I'm very hopeful for the sequin dress to do something, because it's a very, the only doll that really goes with is Stella, and I'm not super fond of that one because she already has pretty good fashions that she comes with. And so I am going to rinse this water again. Now, most of the tutorials I've seen have done this in a sink, but I didn't want to film this over my sink right at this moment because I was doing 3 separate colors. So maybe next time I would have these bowls set up in the sink, and from there I would go on and rinse them in flowing water. But let's see where our black dress is. So already you can see that this is getting a lot darker. Like, that ribbon is taking it surprisingly well. The outer layers, I mean, it definitely still has a little bit of pink shimmer to it. So we're going to let it stay in there for a bit longer. But that is doing surprisingly well. Let's see what it looks like in the red right now. And now, because the red is a lot closer to the pink, I'm anticipating it's going to look really good. So yeah, that already looks very, very good. Like, it's a little bit more of a red and less of a pink already, which I love because ruby we get a lot of casual fashions and not a lot of high fashion looks. And so here's hoping. Now this blue might be a little dark for this, but it's actually turning it a very nice purple. And so we're getting kind of a violet look with this now. Bring it out a little bit for y'all, show you. See, it's much more violet now, which is nice. And we're gonna leave it back in there for a little bit longer, I think. But these are very cute. I'm trying to dry my hands at the same time. Looks like I'm cleaning up a murder scene because of this combination. But if we look at these skirts, they are all slightly different colors as they're drying. Like, they're not super big, but it is there on a color gradient. So, I mean, that's better than I thought it was going to be. So there's hope for the silver dress in there. Maybe we can just get a light tint. Maybe where we got like a copper and a true steel, and then like an iron look maybe. But our skirts and our shirts are looking much better now. Show you guys those. That's what those shirts look like now. They're very cute. Like, if this was a dark blue dye that I had used instead of aquamarine, if I'd used a navy, that collar would have changed as well. But the collar is a little bit darker in all of them, so we just have 3 ring neck tees. So I'm actually very, very happy with the way those turned out. Because those go great under things, as like with the little bralette tops that Rainbow High seems to love. And there we have our 3 skirts that are looking good. Again, this blue became more of a green, which I'm okay with because, again, jade, we don't get a lot of super feminine looks. But it's very cute, and this is more of a charcoal than a black, but it's still cute. So all of these that I've dyed and dried already, you can really tell there's a difference in the color, which is nice. Now I do have 6 wigs that I'm going to do, but I'm going to do that in a separate video just to give you guys time because I don't anticipate that will take that long, but it's going to be messier because the hair is going to get everywhere. So let's check on our dresses again. Okay. So here is our black. Again, it's more of just a dark purple now, fighting against those pink sequins. Remembering to dry my hands in between so I don't bleed dye into the red dress from the black. Okay, and that red is very vibrant. That's nice. It's not a true scarlet yet, I don't think, but it's still very pretty. Like, it's closer to a rose, I think, at this point. But it's fine. And we know that our blue is going to take a little bit longer, but again, it's already at a violet, and I think that's about as good as we're going to get with this one. So you know what? I'm going to give the blue a ring and a rinse, and we're going to see exactly how much comes off of this. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it came off of those sequins to where it looks pretty similar to what it was at. That blue didn't do a lot. So I'm going to set it off to the side to dry, and we'll see what it looks like when it dries. And then for the red, we're gonna Give it a final dunk or two. And then ring it. Again, this is what it looks like before. Let's see how much of that dye comes off in our rinse. A good amount of dye comes off, really, because those sequins are plastic and they're not going to hold dye. But it does look different, so that's good. And then our black, I'm very hopeful that the black is going to look more like silver here at the end. But I feel my hopes are destined to be dashed as far as this goes. And there's a good chance that a lot of that dye that we're seeing come off the off in the water is actually from my fingers on the gloves. But that is what this one looks like now. Again, you can see the black in those straps. And so we'll give those a little bit of time to dry, and we will check on our little pleather silver dresses and see how they're doing. I doubt much has been done with these. Like, this doesn't look much different. The silver is definitely not dyed. The inside is dyed, so we can tell the fabric is taking the dye. It's just not really showing on the outside, but it's close enough that I'm going to call it good, just because we're taking up too much time on this video. And we're going to rinse it. A couple of times and let it dry. And let's see what this one looks like. So again, it's colored the thread pretty obviously, which is nice. So that might give it a little bit more of a sheen. Of like a red sheen. But we will see here in a minute. Again, I'm really just gonna rinse that off. It is showing a little bit more on the back, but we are gonna hand wash these here at the end. And again, with the blue, it's really just dyed the thread that is showing on the front. So, but again, you can see on the inside of these that it is dyeing the fabric. It's just not showing through that outer side. So that's good, because it'll let me remember which one went in which color. And so I am going to let these dry fully, and then I'm going to come back with a results. All right, y'all, we are back with our clothes that are washed and dried, and let's see some results. So far, our best result came in our yellow skirt with the little stupid rainbow suspender things that I took off because I hated them. So this is what it looks like with the aquamarine. I am kind of tempted to redo this one in navy just because it looks super cute, but it's also really cute in green. Here is the result with scarlet, and it is much more orange than red now that it's been washed, but it is very cute still. And then here is the result with black, which really came out to be more of a grayish brown, which is okay because it's giving me Sailor Jupiter's school uniform because of these white ribbons that are still down here. And these ribbons did lose the most dye, I noticed. But they are very cute, and I think this may be my favorite color of the skirt. And then our next best is the shirt, the Anti-Sparkle Club shirt. This is with the blue. It did bleed a little bit, when I rinsed them, because I washed them all together, and so you can see a little bit of it if you look close, a little bit of that red came through, but it still looks really cute. And then here is that red in question, which is really just like a nice red. This looks like a lived-in t-shirt, and I like it. It did stay darker here on the collar where it was orange, which is nice. And then here in the black, it did come out to more of like a charcoal with like a brown liner, which is still cute. And it's because this ring was orange. So there was really no way getting around that this was probably going to wind up a different color. So that looked really good. And then our next best is the sparkle sequin dress, which really honestly, it didn't do much. This is with the aquamarine. It's still pretty close to what it was. Let me show you all the original that I have over here. So here's the original, and here's with the aquamarine. Like, there's a slight tinting difference, but not much. And then here is with the red. Again, a slight tinting difference. You see it in the ribbons, but not much. And again here, it's slightly a different shade, and you see it in the ribbons. This is a darker one, but again, not much really happened with that, which is not really the dye's fault. It's because that whole dress is covered in sequins, and sequins are, you know, plastic or metal, and they just don't take the dye very well. And now here's one that I was surprised by that it didn't do more. This one is just like a satin fabric. I thought this would do more. It did not. So this, let me show you all the original with this. That is this one. So here's the original, and here's with aquamarine. Again, you don't see any difference with that. Here's it with the red, and here's it with the original. Again, this looks slightly more pink, but really not much. And again, here with the black, it did like nothing in the black, really. It got a little shade lighter, maybe, but it did not do very much, which is kind of disappointing because I thought it would do more, but that's okay. And then one that I didn't think was going to do anything, and then it didn't, was Avery's silver dress, this pleather material. These are dried. You can see they did get dyed on the inside of the fabric. Like, this was with the scarlet, this was with the aquamarine, and then this was with the black. So it did get dyed on the inside of the fabric. It did not take any dye in this outer reflective pleather coating. So yeah, but I did want to do all of the different types of fabric that we had across Rainbow High, really. And aside from the denim, because I only had 2 pairs of jeans that I was willing to dye, and they take it. And we have really good evidence of the denim just taking whatever dye is used. So really your best bet is anything that's got like a linen, like the skirt, or a cotton, like the shirt. Like, those are your best bets if you want to dye things and get pretty close to your specific color that you want. And again, you've got to remember that you are dyeing on top of whatever color is already there. So, you know, if you're trying to take a black outfit and turn it into something else, you're not going to get that. It just won't happen. Your best bets are going to be the light tones, like the light pink, anything from Bella Parker, anything from the not Stella, it's the lime green girl from series 2, some of the stuff from Poppy, and most of the stuff from Sunny. Most of the things, if they're in red or a dark purple or anything like that, or a deep dark blue or green, you're not going to be able to dye on top of that. So good luck with that. And again, anything with sequins, you're not going to get very much of the color through. Because if you look at these sequin dresses, like this fabric dyed black, this mesh, but the sequins really stopped it from going into this layer of mesh right here. But then the lower level of mesh is already gray. So I mean, you're limited by what the fabric will actually let you do. So, but if you want some more cute skirts, if you had a bunch of these yellow skirts that were just frankly kind of ugly, this is cute with the aquamarine. This is very cute. It's very schoolgirl, like Japanese schoolgirl. And this is cute also. And so, I mean, we've really just created some more basics, which is nice. Because I already had this tee, I was willing to dye it, because I'm usually when I get white tees, I do not dye them, just because they're a lot easier to mix and match with. But this one had an orange ring around it, so I was willing to give it a go because I had so many extra. But yeah, so that's the results. I'm probably, once these are fully dry, because I did put them in the dryer and they dried for a little bit, but some of them just didn't come fully dry. Like, I may style some outfits with these skirts and maybe just show you what these look like on Instagram, but don't hold me to that because I am very bad at updating my Instagram. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this helps you decide if you're willing to risk dyeing your doll clothes, because sometimes Rainbow High just does stuff that you like but in the wrong color for you. So thanks for watching. This has been Disney D Prince, and y'all have a good day. And as always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. If you liked it, leave me a like. And as always, follow along for more. Bye, y'all. Be good.